Hello everyone, welcome to this quick video. In this short video, I just want to introduce you some major functions Nebula provides you. In 3 parts, I'm going to introduce Nebula can help you to connect any type of data. Nebula has native UI to allow you to do intuitive kind of query slice and dicing from the UI itself. And also query has, Nebula has coding environment to allow you to do runtime transformations to get whatever like instant UDF use-defined functions you want. And lastly, I just want to tell you, Nebula is an extensive analytics engine which you can extend it to analyze any other different type of data and with different visualization. Let's jump to the demo. First, Nebula can connect any static data or real-time data. No matter your data is in local disk or is like, you have big data on cloud storage. Nebula, it's a horizontal scale distributed system. So depends on your data size, you can scale the cluster to whatever size you want. And for the real time, is basically you can connect the majority of the pub subsystem like Kafka and define how much data you want to retain for each data source. Let's quickly open a deployed version of Nebula and just exploit by its UI. Live demo now. Let's look at this deployment. In this deployment, we have a multiple data source, a lot of different, majority of them are just Kafka real-time stream. Some of them are from S3. Let's quickly exploring this real-time data set. It's about lifetime traffic, about CDN requests. This data right now, you can see it saves like last 3 hours data with like about 30 gigabytes with 334 million rows in the system, and you can very quickly to figure out what they are. First thing I want to show you, can see you can get the samples, or you can remove any columns, or just like using autocomplete type anything you want. For example, here I want to see client country, and this is sample as well. But as long as you put some aggregation field there, for example, I want to see count, which means I want to see which country has the most traffic. Let's sort in the query in descending order. So very quickly you can figure out, we can get this kind of distributions. This is top 10. You can change all the numbers as well. Depends on like how much, how many like top end you want. You can also like focus on a few different countries. For example, in this case, I want to focus on US, MX, and the BR, North America, South America, and assuming we only focus on these three, and we can like get the comparison for these 3 countries traffic, and you can use in different ways to render them, or I like donut chart, and you can save, copy the whole thing, paste somewhere else. Of course, you can also, sort in the table in whatever way you want. And this is like, in a time range, we get the total aggregated results. But let's say you want to have some specific, like relatively time range, 2 hours ago until now, no matter when you run the query, it always like for the last 2 hours. And I really want to see a timeline, I want to see the traffic change, time by time. So this is a checkbox you can check. And by running this one, you can actually get, the timeline for the traffic. You can see here, US traffic actually is going down because it's late night. For Brazil is also following the same pattern. Similarly, you can also have like different views, based on your preference. You can see them. The granularity is another thing. I mean, you can change the granularity to reflect the sensitive of the of the data you want to see. It changes like how many data points you want to generate for this query. This is about the total aggregation and timeline, and also we have lots of like aggregation functions you can do. For example, like mean on all the available columns, sum, average, and we have like all kind of like percentile kind of query like per 10, P10, P20, P any, as long as you can think of think about all the numbers columns, and also we have a lot of other things like histogram, cardinality, like distinct count kind of thing. This is all application functions we have from the just from the UI. You can interactively like get the results super fast, and you can understand what's going on and build the full insights and debugging the real world just from the UI. And yeah, let's come back to the slides. Just want to guide the the demo. The next thing I want to show you is very quickly show you. Sometimes you actually the raw data is not something you want. You want to transform the raw data, and you want to get aggregated by the customized the columns you want. So in that case, actually Nebula provides a very simple like code IDE. Here I just want to demo something for you. So let me copy some code samples here. So for a quick for this example, from here, let me zoom it in so you can see this clear. In this example, actually, it's very simple. It's basically saying, okay, I'm going to target a query some data source, like source call something, and I have give it a time range, and this is a new column name. It's called CC. In this data source, we don't have this kind of column at all, but how it generated is basically you can just generate using an instant UDF function defined by JavaScript. Yes, Nebula has a full embedded JavaScript engine which can support you write any customized code. In this one, we have API for you to say you want to access some column value, and I want to take a mod 5 and get this as a result, which is I defined that type as integer, and I registered this new Lambda function as a new column name, which is CC, and then I can aggregate by it. See, we have like count functions. We have like the new customized runtime type, and in this case I can first just click time, select, and run. That's it, and you can click the button, and you can see we get the results. I'm using nebula.test data source instead, so you can see I get 5 columns now, and you change this number. Let's say I want to just multiply by 3, then you can probably see 0, 1, 2, right? This is how it can be very super strong and powerful, to satisfy your need. Nebula SDK actually also provides a lot of other functions such as pivot and map, allow you to manipulate the data in a coding environment for advanced users. If you really want code and you want to fully control that, you have this ability because we have code environment. And also, if you want to like run timeline, not just like single aggregation, you can just do timeline. By default, we take the default auto granularity of the time. But if you want passing any time range, you can just change as well. So I think a lot of people will be interested in this as well. Coming back to the things, last thing, let me show you the extension. Extension is basically I want to demonstrate like Nebula is actually extensible query engine, generative query engines. We can extend it to query any type of things, profile, analyze any different things. Here I just show you a lot of like standard kind of like timeline, bar chart, different charts, aggregated results. But sometimes, for example, I want to query CPU profiles. My cluster has like constantly deliver call stack samples, and I want to aggregate them by any dimensions. I want to see how different machine or different cluster or different build, they have different performance. Actually, we have that kind of like support as one example. For example, we have we have one example here. It's basically we can see first we can see what kind of service is sending samples here. So we can do here count, and I can see I only have Spark, so I can let me zoom out a little bit. It's better. And now if I specify the filter, let's say I only want to Spark, and now I want to order by order aggregation function. I want to say app ID to see which query have the most samples I want to see, descend order. I get a bunch of them, so I can just copy one, and I can say I want to focus on this app ID. Basically, in Spark, it's a query, right? And then I want to see in this query how many stages I have. The query is divided into multiple stage, and I can see here stage 1 actually runs longest time because the sample interval is the same. So if it has like most of the samples, means it is running the longest. And let's focus on the longest stage. Let's stage 1, and this will give you a great view about how your system is working. In this case, what I want to say, I just want to take the special aggregation function tree merge on my call stack. Right, I collected the call stack samples, and you run it right away. Yeah, you can see all the functions ranked, and you can hover over each node. You can see this is actually very famous frame graph. I mean, I don't know if you know that, but this is very useful for analyze the CPU the performance bottleneck. So you hover over each node, you can see the percentage of this function take. It probably is contributed by the colleagues, and you can keep diving into any branch and see how things goes. For example, you can just navigate anything, focus on any node and see how that works. Yeah, this is super useful, and to help us to understand how to do the optimization work at different granularity and different work. I think that's the whole thing I want to demo to you, because Nebula actually has a lot of great features. But I think these three actually can give the highlights to attract you to make you get interested in that. If yes, please check out the the GitHub site. It's a public open source project, and we'll continue working on that, and we are find a lot of great use cases already. We just want to share with you, and feel free to take a look. Thank you. And if you have any questions, give me comments. Thank you so much for watching so far. I just want to stop here, and thank you again. Bye.